Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm so excited to be sharing my 17 and 2017 finale with you. And I know I'm doing this a couple weeks early, but I want to give myself a chance to kind of familiarize myself with my collection a little bit before I decide what items I want to focus on in 2018. So I need a couple weeks to really regroup and look over my collection, see what items I want to potentially declutter before the new year or items that I really want to focus on in the new year. So I just wanted to give myself a little bit of time. I did start this project back in March. It was like the end of March, so I was a lot later than other people. And it was my very first project pan. I definitely bit off a lot more than I could chew in terms of the amount of products that were in this project, as well as the types of products that I selected, and I didn't realize how long it takes to use up items. This has been an extremely good learning experience for me, regardless of the results, and I think that that's the most important takeaway for me. Is I learned so much about not only my collection, but the kind of products I need and how long they take to use up. So I want to share my thoughts with you guys about this project and show you where I'm finishing off the project, so stay tuned, we're gonna jump right into it. I just want to start with cheek products. So the first item I have here is the Sephora Colorful Contour, and it looks different than it did in my previous update 2 months ago, and that's because I decided to repress this guy. And to be quite honest, I thought I was going to be able to hit pan on it again, but I haven't been able to. However, the product is so thin now and there's very little product in here, so I don't think it will be too much longer before I get to actually use this up. This is definitely an item I'm going to roll into 2018 projects, so stay tuned for that. The reason I decided to repress it is because whenever I was using my brush, even very lightly in this product, it was just flaking away. Big chunks were coming out of it because it seemed like the product wasn't properly adhering to the pan. It doesn't look like there's any visual progress, but I'll show you guys what it looked like just before I decided to repress it, because it was looking pretty sad. But I am really happy with how much use I've gotten out of this guy this year. It's been a staple for me, and I am very happy with it. I have enjoyed using it. It's definitely a really good product in my opinion. It is not a cruelty-free product, so I do want to work on getting this out of my collection in the near future, but I have been enjoying it while it is a part of my collection regardless. This next item is MAC Soft and Gentle, and as you can see, the pan has not expanded too much since my last update. However, the dome has gone down a lot, and I have definitely used a fair amount of product out of this. There's no doubt about it that this year has been really good for me to get use out of this guy, and again, MAC is not cruelty free, so that's why I decided to really focus on this one over this year. However, like I said in my last update, I do want to declutter this now that the year is over, and I have tried to use as much as I can. This is just not an item I want to bring into 2018 with me. It's not to say it's a bad product, that's not to say it's going in the garbage either. I'm actually going to be giving this to a friend. I have a couple people in my life who would definitely love to have this product. There are other highlighters in my collection already that have not really gotten enough use over the last year while I was focusing on this. And that's not beneficial to my collection. That's not beneficial to how much money I have invested in my collection. And it's unfortunate that other items might get expired over the course of trying to finish one single highlighter. So I'm going to pass this off to someone who will get more use and more love out of it, and that way I can focus on the other items that remain in my collection. And the next product is another cheek product, and it is the Benefit Cheekathon palette, and I was being extremely advantageous by putting an entire palette in and considering it one item in this project. I had no concept of how long it takes to use up blush because, as I said before, I'm not really a blush wearer, or before this year at least, I wasn't really a blush wearer, and that was part of the reason why I decided to purchase this palette actually in the first place, was because it seemed like a really good selection of products to have in my collection and kind of all of the necessary products. However, I do have dupes of a lot of these colors. I'm going to open it up and show you guys how I did. I didn't do very great whatsoever. And this guy's out of here, as you'll notice, but I'll show you that after. But I did pretty well on Hoola, actually. I hit pan on that pretty quickly, because I was using that on my legs and arms and on my chest. Like, I was using that absolutely everywhere. And then on the rest of these blushes, there is a good dip in Dallas, but the other two look basically untouched, Dandelion and Coralista. And that's because I have other suitable dupes in my collection, and so I just didn't feel like it was like exciting to use these blushes, I suppose. I have depotted Rockateur. I've got it in a magnetic palette. This is what it looks like now, and all of the progress that I have made on this is actually from my 12 Pans of Christmas. Because it's a shorter term project, I was really trying to get a lot of use out of it, and I have come to realize that shorter term projects definitely are better for me personally. I seem to be more motivated to use items in a shorter term project. I have decided that this is the only blush that I want to hold onto out of here. It's a beautiful color. It's been my favorite out of the entire palette, and I want to get this used up in 2018. I really want to focus on it next year. So the remainder of this palette I am going to pass off to someone else as well. It really is a beautiful palette. It just hasn't really been an essential in my makeup collection. Clearly, I have been focusing on this for 9 months and the use is quite minimal. So let's hop into the shadows. This is the Makeup Forever M600 Single Shadow, and I'm very excited. I finally hit pan on this. This was the most discouraging product in this collection, or in this project rather, by far, because I just kept feeling like I was never making progress on it, and finally, maybe a week and a half ago, I hit pan on it and I was so excited. And this is going to be another one of those non-cruelty free products that I carry over into next year. By no means do I think I'll be able to finish this in 2018 because the pan is so huge, but I love the color, and also this was a gift from my boyfriend a couple years ago, so I want to hold on to it for a little bit longer. It is a beautiful shade, it's unique to my collection, and I'm just not ready to give this guy up yet. The first of the Colourpop single shadows that I was focusing on this year is Colourpop Melrose, this gorgeous terracotta shade. And this is a matte, but the Colourpop mattes have a little bit of shine to them, so they have that very like healthy look to them. But I do have pan. I hit pan several months ago, and yet it seems like this pot just never ends, I swear, because I've worn this again 2 to 3 times every single week. Maybe even more than that, because I love this color. I think that it just looks so cool and effortless. I don't know, there's just something really amazing about this color. I don't regret putting this in this project whatsoever. It is a really good experience to see how long these freaking Colourpop shadows last for, because for $5 you feel like you're not going to get too much use out of it, especially considering how quickly you hit that middle part of the pan. But it's deceiving because there's a lot of product in here, and I do have small eyes. I know I have small eyes, but that's not really a factor, I think. It's just how little you need to wear for this, but also just the sheer amount of product that actually is in it. And this one has not dried out whatsoever, so I'm really happy about that. Even though I have used it so much, it's not drying out like other Colourpop shadows do once you hit pan. Especially considering this is a matte shade. But I will definitely be holding on to this guy, and it's still going to be one of my faves no matter what. Like, I'm going to reach for it a ton next year, even if I don't put it in a project. Leopard is the other Super Shock shadow that I had in this project, and it's looking a little different than you guys may have seen it last time, and that's because I decided to try to like pull this all out with one of my beauty spatulas and tried to like flip over the product almost and remix it together, because it was feeling so dry. It was tugging when I was trying to blend it with a brush. It was just sticking down and it was looking very patchy, and unfortunately it still is performing that way. I can get a ton of color payoff on my finger, but to blend it out is near impossible. It is unfortunate because once I repressed it down, it still looks like there's a lot of product in here, and it might have been my own error. I didn't close it properly, or I left it open for too long, or it is just the way that these matte purples perform, because I know it's really difficult to formulate this kind of red-based purple, but unfortunately it's just not gonna hold up for much longer. I think I'm gonna have to declutter this, and it's really it's very unfortunate, to be honest, because this is a beautiful color. However, this is discontinued, so maybe Colourpop realized the flaws with this one. I'm not sure. I am really happy that I put this into this project because I got a lot of use out of it, and I'm happy that I managed to get as much use out of it as I did before it dried up. So that was a win no matter what. This double-ended Urban Decay liner I actually put in as one product, and I've learned now that I probably should have put it in as two different products. However, I did finish Perversion, the black end. I finished that a few months ago, and then I have been working my way through Rockstar through the remainder of the year, and I'm very happy with the amount of progress that I've done on this. I am going to continue focusing on this without a project. I want to finish this as soon as possible, so hopefully you'll see this in an empties in the near future. But very happy with the amount of progress I made on this. I'm very proud of the amount of progress that I made on this, which is so silly because it's a freaking eyeliner. But I don't love eyeliner on my eyes. I've really come to realize that this year, and I know I have liner on today, but I'm trying to use up the liners that are in my collection, unless they're interesting colors, I guess, or unless they have some sort of value in my collection. But I don't love the way that liner looks on my lids. I feel like it closes off my eyes, and if it doesn't close off my eyes, then it's completely invisible anyway when my eyes are open. So it's just an extra step that I just don't think is essential to my eye shape. However, very happy to have gotten this much use out of it, and like I said, I will continue to use it because this is the oldest eyeliner that's in my collection, and I want to get it out. I just don't want it anymore. I have another purple liner that I should focus on next year or as soon as this one's done. So I just want to get it done and used up, and I will be very happy when that comes. Very, very happy. And the other liner in this project is Colourpop Fastlane. I am very proud of the amount of progress that I've made on this guy as well. This I just put in the project without any goals, and I did say that at the beginning. I just wanted a little bit of variety by putting this product in, so it definitely has given me that. I have been using this forest green a fair amount this year, and I do love the way that this color looks on my personal complexion and my eye color, and yet it still is the same thing. I just don't find that dark eyeliner really suits my hooded eyes. However, I have been really enjoying using this because it is a fun color and just because it's something a little bit different. I did use a fair amount of pencil out of here, so I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy with the little amount of product that I have left in here. This is my fail product. This is my 100% fail product of this project. I should have decluttered it months ago, but I just kept telling myself, oh, I'm gonna get use out of it next season. Oh, I'll get use out of it this month. And I just never did. This is the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil. This is in the shade Dragon Girl, which is a beautiful shade, and I love this product so much, but I think this past year I just haven't been drawn to this format of lipstick. I have been definitely loving a lipstick that has a little bit more slip to it. Yeah, I've definitely just been preferring bullet lipsticks where they have a little bit of moisture to them, but they still give me that matte look. This is a great product in terms of lasting power. I do really think that these last well, but I just don't love the feeling anymore. So I used it a couple times underneath of other red lipsticks, just kind of as like an all over lip pencil, but I never really reached for it all that often. I do have to declutter this guy now because it's getting to be nearly 5 years old, I think, at this point, which is gross. And the other lipstick that remains in this project is Colourpop Grunge. This is just one of my favorite lip shades. I love this color so much. I think it suits me so well, and I'm not afraid to wear a brown lipstick like this. I know that it is a little bit scary for some people, but I just think that it looks so cool and effortless, and I just love it. And you can see that I made a lot of progress on it this past year, even though there still is product in here, and I think you get really great value for what you pay for the Colourpop Lippie sticks. This color is beautiful. You guys have seen, I've worn it in so many videos this year, and I have also recently been using it to do like a bronzer, cream bronzer sort of thing before I set my foundation. So I'll just like bronze and shape over this like entire region of my cheeks as well as up on my temples. I've even done it on my nose as well, and the product just seems to go so far. It's really great. It's really impressed me. It's given me another a new appreciation for my Colourpop Lippie sticks, and I want to focus on using some of those guys up next year, but we have also come to learn that lip products are not my forte when it comes to project panning. And the very final item that remained in this project is the LORAC Unzipped Gold Palette. And this palette I did decide to put in the project because I was noticing that it wasn't performing quite like it used to. The matte colors are a lot more dry than they were when I first purchased this about 2 years ago. But I have made really great progress, I personally feel like, this year. And I have been able to use so much product out of here. It feels really good to see a palette look like this in my collection because my palettes never look like this whatsoever. They kind of look a little untouched, even though I wear eyeshadow on an everyday basis. I'm so happy with how I've done on this. I have nearly finished up Undressed here, like there's barely any product in there anymore. And I did repress this, so it has become a lot more dusty. So you'll notice in the pictures that there's like dust of Undressed on just about all of the colors down in this corner. It's because no matter what I do, every time I put my brush in there, it just like flicks up everywhere. So it has made using it up a little bit easier because the product is a little bit more loosely packed. But I'm not quite done it yet. But I'm gonna continue to use this for the rest of this month just to get it out of my collection, or rather to finish up the one single shadow. I'm not going to get this out of my collection by the end of this month. But huge pan here on Inhibited. I recently hit pan here on Unlocked, which I was focusing on for so long, and I'm so happy that I finally hit pan on this guy. And then there's a massive dip in Unleashed here. Unwind, there's a really great dip in it. This has been my brow powder for the majority of this year, and then I will use it as a shadow every once in a while, but it's mostly been for my brows. And then Undeniable is a very similar shade, so that's why there's not more progress, I think, on one of these items, because I've just kind of like dipped between both of them just to get use out of them both, but they're so similar in tone. And Unpredictable, Unlimited, and Unafraid here. Those three I never really touched this year. I'm just not drawn to those colors. And then Unedited, there actually is a fairly decent dip happening in that one as well. So I'm extremely happy with the amount of progress that I made on this guy this year. I considered this as one item in my 17 and 2017. So happy with the amount of progress I've made. This is a really good learning experience for me for sure, because now I know how long it takes to use up not only an eyeshadow, but to use up an entire eyeshadow palette. Maybe sometime next year I will pick it up for a 1 month, 1 palette. We'll see how I'm feeling next year about this guy, but I am going to hold on to it for now. I haven't noticed that the mattes have become even drier than they were at the beginning of this year, so that's good. I'm going to hold on to it and hope to make more progress in the near future, but for now I am very happy to be taking a little bit of a break from it and get a feel for my other palettes and my other eyeshadows, and to finish up a couple other items that are in other projects as well. I am looking forward to more project pans in 2018, and definitely stay tuned for 2 more project pan finales coming this month. It seems crazy I'm wrapping up all these projects, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!